This is a regular meeting of the Cabell County Board of Education. At this time, I'd ask for you to stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll kick things off with our special celebrations and Dr. Ashley Stevens.
Good evening, President Polly, board members, Superintendent Hardesty, Counselor Hornbuckle-Myers. It's great to be with you. Our students that would be featured behind you, as you may notice, are not here with us. They're going to reschedule because of the weather. So hopefully we'll get to celebrate our Regional Literature Fair winners very soon. But we do have a very exciting celebration. We have with us a student author, Reese Null, who was recently featured in 5 More Voices, Generation of West Virginia Creative Authors. You guys have an excerpt in your booklet. Upon receiving nominations by English teachers Marissa Dillon and Kayla Dyer and going through an extensive interview process, Reese was selected to be featured in the online publication highlighting talented authors in the Mountain State. Reese modified part of a novel in progress into a short story entitled Last Glimpse. That's the one that you have, set in 1962. You can learn more about Reese's lifetime of writing experience, which started very young, and read his story by visiting 5morevoices.com, but you guys also have that excerpt. We extend our congratulations to Reese on an impressive start to what we feel sure will be an amazing literary future. Reese, do you mind to stand up? That is our only celebration, so barring any remarks, we will go ahead and do pictures.
I do have remarks, and I would like for him to come forward because I have some questions, and I would like responses, if you don't mind.
I didn't sign up for this.
Hi.
Hello.
So I read the short story. I read your short story, the one that you consolidated from a beginning of a novel, and I also read the biographical sketch that was written about you on 5 More Voices. A couple things come to mind. The first is how much support you have gotten from your family and teachers, and I was reminded of how important it is for us to have support. Would you like to comment about that?
Yeah, I've had a lot of support growing up. My mom, my grandma, they've been really just with me the whole time, supporting me in whatever I want to do, writing especially. And then my teachers, all of my English teachers, probably since middle school, have been great. They've entered me into competitions, critiqued my work. Anything I've needed, they've been there to support me.
That's wonderful. Now, about your short story, using the medical antiseptic mercurochrome. Now, I haven't heard mercurochrome in decades. And so then I realized, because I didn't pick up on this, that the setting was 1962. So that explains mercurochrome. I was impressed with your writing skill, and I love that you're putting it out there. I love that you allowed it to be published. I love that you are going forward with your writing skills. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Did you bring your sister that way?
Oh, nice to see you.
Yes, yeah, he is. Yes, he is. She goes to school. On that pharmacy school.
Oh, your sweater's so
Pharmacy
cute.
school. In that building. Is that your mom?
You didn't say that about
know, I'm so sorry. Your jacket's so cute. She's one of my angel children. Oh, what I call my favorites. I have favorites. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, I know.
You're allowed to have.
Yeah. My husband. I found you my husband.
You must be so proud of him. Hey, we match.
We'll get all three and then I'll have you two jump on.
You two can't be together in a picture.
I know, we're gonna split us up. Picture perfect. Come forward here. You go, I can't be close. Here we go.
No, come over here, Robert.
I know, I thought the same thing. I'm coming over here. You okay? You in here all right? I'm good, I'm good. Thank you, congratulations.
What grade is that kid in?
Senior.
Senior.
Red and I didn't read it in the book. I read it online. There was a link in our online agenda.
Who's doing the sheriff's department?
Instructional.
Yeah, next, okay. Okay, we'll move on to our updates, and we'll start with an update in Instruction Leadership Services. Mr. Keith Thomas.
President Polly, board members, Superintendent Hardesty, Legal Counsel Hornbuckle Myers. This evening, we are actually proud to recognize, celebrate, and update you on our school resource officers and our school security officers as well, because it's these men's presence that plays a vital role in our everyday of securing our buildings, our campuses, and our students. And it's just as important to note that their service reflects our district's commitment to maintaining and supporting a secure learning environment for our students. So before we even jump into it, I want to make sure that it's noted that we are very grateful for the board's continued willingness to support and invest in school safety by approving and supporting the hiring of these men. Because you have to be proud yourself, because just your leadership that demonstrates a high priority. And that priority is that you are ensuring that every student, every staff member in Cabell County has a safe place to learn and a safe place to work. So thank you for your partnership in making this commitment to safety a cornerstone of our district. I'm excited at the work that Mr. Stewart, he's back there somewhere, is doing within our schools each and every day. He's making safety a priority. He always has. And the collaboration that's been ongoing in the past and that continues to grow with the departments that are represented here today. If it wasn't for these departments, we would not have what we have today. So it's so important that we recognize them. And I want to start with that by recognizing our SROs and the departments that we have here today. So this is kind of a celebration and recognition at the same time. So first, Sheriff Adams, if you want to come up and join us as we introduce the Sheriff's Office. First up, we have Supervisor Lieutenant Bill Templeton, who is our Crossroads SRO. Bill is also the supervisor of our Cabell County SROs. Bill is great to work with. He has some excellent ideas, and he's always on task, so it's always good to work with Bill. Next, we have Assistant Supervisor, Lieutenant Mike Talbot. Mike is one of the most knowledgeable guys I know when it comes to safety. And Kurt Mann told me years ago, when something goes down, you want Mike Talbot on your side, and I understand why. Next up is Deputy First Class J.D. McQuaid. J.D.'s at Huntington East Middle, and J.D. is also our DARE coordinator and teacher. J.D. has a strong passion to teach our kids. And if you could ever witness, our kids love it, and J.D. loves it as well. He's presenting a really good message to our students. Also, we have Deputy Matt Newcomb, who is our SRO at Cabell Midland. There's never been a time that something's happened at Midland that I've not called him, that he's already ahead of it and taking care of it. Matt's been a perfect fit for Cabell Midland. Also, we have Deputy Stephen Chase Bennett, who is our SRO at Huntington Middle. Chase was a great addition to Huntington Middle School. If you ever walk in that school, you're going to see Chase, you're going to see Chase working. So he was definitely a great addition. The staff and students love him there. Next up is our newest additions, which is our school safety officers. First is Roman Thompson. Roman's retired captain of 30 years as a deputy. He was also an SRO with us at Crossroads and Midland for some years. He's going to be working in our elementary schools, and I'll go over those schools here in just a minute. And after him, we have Kim Cooper, who's a retired assistant superintendent, principal, and assistant principal and teacher. And Kim is responsible for a lot of the safety protocols and procedures that we have in place today. These two men will be working in our middle schools, our elementary schools, such as Martha, Salt Rock, Cox Landing, Milton, Ona, Hot Saunders, and Culloden. And these are all members of the Cabell County Sheriff's Department. We'll get pictures with these guys when we're done with everybody here. Next up, we'll do the Barbersville Police Department. We have with us Chief Anthony Jividen and Deputy Chief Lucas, if you guys want to come up. We have with us this evening our school resource officer at Barbersville Middle School, which is Todd Neal. To be short with Todd, Todd is family. Todd has been with Barbersville for a long time. The staff and students love him there. He's been there. He's served over 30 years. Todd, I think last time you told me next year's your last year. So we'll miss Todd, but we're going to keep him on for one more year. And then we have Corporal Charles C., who's our elementary SRO at Vobe, Nichols Elementary, and Davis Creek. Charlie is if you've ever walked in any of those schools, Charlie is the first person you see. He's always up front, and that's what he wants. He wants you to see him when you're in these schools. Barbersville Police Department. Next up, we have Huntington Police Department. Chief Bill Watkins is with us. Our SRO at Huntington Middle School is Ernie Blackburn. I'll just leave it at this. Ernie is a legend. We could say a lot about Ernie, but Ernie is respected and trusted by the whole staff there at Huntington High School, the students. He's just a great benefit to our county by having him at Huntington High School. So Ernie, if you want to come on up. And one that's not here, but I did want to mention him. He's not an SRO, but Kyle Odell is the police chief at Milton. From the time I was an assistant principal there to long before me till now, Kyle Odell treated Milton Elementary like it was his own school and still does to this very day. So if you ever get the opportunity to thank Kyle Odell for supporting Milton Elementary, he makes sure he takes care of that school. Also in your packets, I won't go over it, but I did put in your packets the new roles of the school security officers. There's some questions and answers there that you might want to read later, but it's Mr. Boggs and Mr. Stewart put that together, but that's a valuable resource there. Where's Mr. Stewart? Stewart, come on up. Tim is our safety director, along with some other things. Tim works with these guys daily. Any questions before we do pictures with our school resource officers?
I think it's important to mention the dog that we helped fund for Barbersville for the canine the explosive detection dogs. It's already proven to be very valuable, I believe, in a couple of different circumstances we've had this year.
Correct. We have had a couple of bomb threats already this year. In one instance, we did have the dog come out. It was very valuable. You can tell that dog is well trained. The handler was well trained. It was truly an asset to us and one of the best, a great purchase for Cabell County Schools. And we appreciate the partnership with Barbersville on that. It was just a call. They made sure it happened. Yep. Any other questions or?
Mine's more just a comment. We have some. First of all, thank you all for what you do. Thank you for keeping our students, our staff safe, our community safe. But it would be a great opportunity to hear from you if we have one of the departments. I hate to call on somebody, Sheriff, but I may need to, but if somebody would like to come down and share some thoughts on your all's experiences in the schools and some of the things that are going on, because it's not just that you're a presence there for good, and the interactions that you have with our students and our staff is positive. Our parents see that, our students see that, and our community does, and I appreciate that. So I thought it might be a good opportunity for someone to share some thoughts on that.
I don't ever pass down the opportunity to talk, but, right, Sharon? I just like to say that, you know, after coming to you all a month and a half ago about this school safety program, that, you know, it's been nonstop. Cooper started yesterday out in Salt Rock. I've heard nothing but good things today. Roman got kind of stranded in Wisconsin in a snowstorm, so he'll start tomorrow. But as I said before, you know, this is going to be successful. I've been saying I hope it is, but I know it is. And my goal is to add to it, like I told you all before, and hopefully add to it at no cost to the district. But hopefully by 26, I can add the third guy. I've already got 3 candidates. I've got 2 more retired deputies asking for it. And I've got a guy from the fire marshal's office that's going to retire in January asking for it. So I've already got good qualified candidates. So hopefully we can make it grow in the next couple of years, and the funding's there to make it happen. So thank you all again for your support. And if one of you guys want to talk about, come on, Lieutenant Talbot or Lieutenant Templeton, one of you. There you go.
Hey, all of our guys thoroughly enjoy working in the schools with the kids. We're there to help the kids as well. They come up to us and talk to us whenever they won't talk to other people, and we want to make them feel comfortable. Even the ones that do get in trouble, there's an agenda there where even though they got to go through court, a lot of time there's mandatory psychological assistance, and we try to work with them because sometimes the parents might not be able to do that, and that'll kind of get the ball rolling on that. So we're all there for the kids. We love it. We love all of our schools. Crossroads is awesome. I love Crossroads. JD does our DARE stuff. The kids love that. And that kind of gets them prepared for middle school, you know, with like DARE does the THC stuff now, which is great. Kind of warns them about the dangers of it before they get there, because elementary kids don't know that stuff yet. And that kind of gets them at 5th grade right before they bust through the doors of middle school, where the whole world changes. And Talbot's been at Milton Middle for a long time. That's a home to him. He loves that school. They love him. Chase is our new guy at Huntington Middle. They absolutely love him there. He does a great job. And Newcomb is the kids love Newcomb at Cabell Midland, the sporting events, everything. I can't say enough about how well they're doing. They're doing a great job. They call me if they need anything, and if they need something, I can shoot right over to them and help them out. So we love it. Absolutely love it.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, we greatly appreciate everything you guys do to help keep our schools safe. I mean, it's the utmost importance. And, you know, as long as I'm involved, we'll continue to make that a priority. Has to be, number one. So we can't learn if we're not safe and if they don't feel safe. And so keeping them that way, we appreciate everything you guys do to make that happen. So thank you.
We'll do a picture, and then I have one more small update on youth mental health first aid, but we'll do the picture first. Come on up, guys.
Okay, thank you, I'm sorry. All right, that's why I was calling you to talk about it. Yeah. Okay.
Invited guests, go in front. Thank you. I'll block it off. Yeah, yeah. Come on, guys, come right in here. Right in here. Okay, we're moving this way. Go this way. Go this way, Rhonda. Scooting, scooting, scooting. Good enough? Good enough?
I bet we get, Phil and Ernie, do we need to get more over? Okay, very good.
Yeah, if you'd said asymmetrical maybe, but off center.
Not basketball, are they? You'll be here all week.
Daughter, the bandit.
See, I give you as you know, mental health first aid training is a top priority that goes along with safety. We presented our youth mental health first aid plan a year ago, and training our professional staff on youth mental health first aid was a top priority. PJ Samuels is our lead trainer on that, and as of today, she has trained over 200 professional staff on youth mental health first aid. We actually had a training today scheduled, but we did have to cancel that. But if you don't know what youth mental health first aid is, there's a flyer in your packet, but it basically teaches our teachers and staff how to recognize and how to respond to mental health issues when they come up on that. But I did want to update you on our numbers. We are over 200 professional staff that's been trained in youth mental health first aid, and we're going to continue. We have a schedule in place to move forward with that for years to come. So thank you for your support on that. Any questions on youth mental health first aid?
Will the remainder of the staff be given this training?
Our goal is to train all staff in Cabell County schools. Yes, that's our goal. The hard part is finding those days, but we're making it work. Mr. Hardesty's allowed us to, and Ms. Watts to, certain days to use. And
This is really important.
it's working. Yeah, you got to commend PJ Samuels, Jesse Scott, and Sarah Fox, because they're training the whole county in this. So I commend them and what they're doing.
You're right, very appreciative of what they're doing, and they have really put a lot of effort into this and taken that charge. So I greatly appreciate that. We all do.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We have some great things going on in Cabell County schools. That's why I said it's kind of a celebration this evening, because we have a lot to celebrate, for sure. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to 2.03, which is an update in operations and support. Mr. Boggs.
Good evening, Board President, Board members, Superintendent, General Counsel. I do want to reiterate that about the school resource officers, whether it being when I started my administrative career at Milton Middle School with Kyle Odell. I worked a lot of ball games with him several years ago. To all these gentlemen that were back here a little bit ago, and any one of them, if we would call them at any given time, whether it be at 2 or 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, they will answer the phone and they will respond and be able to help us out to keep our students safe. So we are very blessed in this district to be able to have the dedicated folks and police force and community to work with us. But I do have a few brief things regarding as far as an update for tonight. So in your packet, I just have a few slides. The first one is we have the construction management at risk, or the CMAR, which we talked about that policy. We got some additional feedback. That's been posted online. The new policy, it's in your packets as well, as far as some changes that were made to that, some structural changes that were made to that. And again, that is second reading and review. As far as the agenda items for tonight, major things as far as operations and support is 4.04, that is approval of a walk-in cooler freezer for the HVAC lab for the Woody Williams Center for Advanced Learning and Careers. That is out of general funds, and that is $30,900. That allows our HVAC students to be able, because many of them working in industry, they will have to go out and work on coolers and freezers, whether they be in schools or restaurants and things like that. This gives them the hands-on opportunity to be able to, and the interesting thing with this is the students will actually help install this. They're going to be working alongside of Colonial to help install this, so it's going to be a learning experience with them as well. So that's definitely a good thing for those students and that program. 4.05 is the approval purchase of Hill-Rom Med-Surg beds for health science classes at the Woody Williams Center for Advanced Learning and Careers. We want to thank the West Virginia Department of Education and Clinton Birch, director of the CTE programs at the state, for providing funds for that. And so we did not have to incur the cost of those. Mr. Hardesty had worked very hard to secure those funds with them, and they did provide that to us. And that is at the cost of $49,981.60. And again, that is a West Virginia Department of Ed grant fund, which we actually already received the grant for that. So we'll be doing the purchase order for that. And these are state-of-the-art beds that our students, and again, anytime we're talking about the Career Center being hands-on and the students having access to the equipment that they would see in the medical field, whether they're LPN, they're going to see the same beds there that they would see at St. Mary's and Cabell Huntington Hospital or any of the other places. So it's very important that they see that. So we want to thank the Department of Ed for that. And then we also have the approval of purchases of new school buses through Matheny Motors. And we are purchasing 5 59-passenger special needs safety liner CT buses and 1 84-passenger transit buses. That's the buses that are flat on the front, the larger buses that would be typically used in the city. And that is general funds, and that is $941,563. We do receive an allocation from the West Virginia Department of Ed for those buses, and it's very important that we maintain an updated fleet. When these buses get over 200,000 miles and so many, 12 years old, it's important that we are able to transport our students safely in new buses. So we have to. You see, we had some auctions of some buses, which they did actually fairly well in the auction for a used bus. And we're going to have some others where we need to reduce some of the older fleet, and we're going to have to auction off a few more buses. So those are on the agenda for tonight as well. We do have a couple agenda changes. If you would look over at page 11 in your agenda. So page 11. And that is going to be 5115, and that is transferred administrator professional personnel. We're going to remove that from the agenda for tonight, and that is the transferred administrator professional personnel 5115P. We're going to remove that from the agenda tonight. Then we also have on page 14 page 14. You're going to see the one that is M26010. That is Harold Scarberry Jr. We're going to remove that item as well. And that actually concludes the updates. Board members, do you have any questions or anything that I need to clarify for you? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Boggs. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to 2.04 delegations to be heard. Do we have any sign up to speak? Nobody signed up to speak this evening, so we can keep. Oh.
We're missing it again.
Hmm.
It's missing it. Superintendent's update.
Oh.
We'll get
That's
it right
okay.
next time.
We will.
Christmas gift.
How's that?
We will. I do have a few updates I'd like to share. I apologize. I won't be long, but I do apologize. Recently, we had both high schools showcase their programming, extracurriculars, and opportunities available to students during events at the schools. Between academic programming, work-study opportunities, clubs, athletics, the arts, the career pathways, the opportunities at Hayton High School and Cabell Midland, we truly have something for every student there. And that's one of the things that they try to do. They try to put those on as a showcase and let our students see just what we have to offer. It was great to see the students, clubs, and program sponsors sharing about the great things that are happening, and we're able to do that during those events. Grateful for the last few days. We had a fall break last week. Hope everyone got a little bit rejuvenated and ready to tackle the world this week, which is, it seems like the year is flying by. It's already December, which I'm not sure what happened in the last several months, but here we are. So looking ahead, we do have student showcases throughout the district. Student organizations and programs are showcasing some talent, the just amazing things that the students have accomplished this semester. We will be getting those out to board members, so you'll be able to see where all of those are located, the times and dates for those, so you'll be able to put those on your calendars. I encourage you to get out to as many of those as possible, because we have some amazing things happening in our schools, and we should get to experience that with our students. So the end of this semester will, believe it or not, be December the 19th. There are a couple things from the agenda that Mr. Boggs touched on that I just want to call a little bit more attention to, and that is the CMARC, Construction Manager at Risk, second reading. When you look at that, you'll see that when we were working on that and trying to make sure, because this is a brand-new policy, and we're trying to make sure that we get everything that's in code appropriate, you'll see that our page, a little over a page and a half, was completely struck through. And our second reiteration is a few more pages long. And we tried to put it in more of a sequential order to make more sense and to make sure that we're covering what's required. So this is the second reading. We have one more. We're going to try to make sure that we have it exactly as needed for that next presentation. We think we're there, or at least very close to that. So if you have any questions at all on that, or if any of our public needs to comment on that, they may certainly do so through our website, or they can email us directly. He'd also touched on a grant that we received from the Department of Education to help with the purchase of the beds at the Woody Williams Center. I do want to thank the Department of Education and Mr. Birch especially for working that out. We wanted to make sure that we were able to have what we needed in that space for those programs. And, again, we're putting a lot of resources from the county into that facility, and we want to make it all it can be for our students. But every help that we can get from our agencies and supporting agencies around, we certainly appreciate that. So, it's right just below $50,000, and that's not a little amount of money, and we greatly appreciate the support. The school buses that he talked about, the 6 new ones, they will actually be the ones that they're replacing will go into the extra fleet that we have, so we can drop off 6 older fleet vehicles that we have that we keep on standby. Just to let the board know, that's one 2009 model. That's pretty long in the tooth there. When you have a bus on the road that long, we have 2 2011 models that will be auctioned off, and then 3 from 2012. And so just remember, though, that while we're hopefully approve these this evening, we won't see these buses until most likely next school year before we get them. So It takes a while. The $941,000 that's on the agenda, we actually budgeted from the transportation step and the money that we received from the state. We budgeted $1,022,721 for that, so this actually came in just a little bit under the budget there. So we're appreciative of that as well. The last thing I wanted to touch on, we had another one today. It was another long morning and snow day, and I realized that those cause angst for everyone involved, including those of us that are out checking roads. I do want to thank those that were out at 5:30 this morning driving roads for about 2 hours. And the odd thing this morning was at 5:30, we would have said it's just wet. At 6 o'clock, we would have said it's just wet. By 7, we had a different story, and it was getting really slick. By about 7:10 or so, we realized we needed to close. We started trying to decide whether or not we should do an NTI day versus a code red day. And so we were going through the scenarios of what that does to staff and put them on the road. We settled on the NTI day, knowing that some of our staff would have already been there, like some of our cooks, our head custodians. And so we did a separate call out to them and how that would work. But I apologize for any undue stress that it puts on our staff or our students. That is not the intent. The intent is to try to make sure that we make the call to keep as many of our students and employees safe as we can. It's not taken lightly, because the last thing we want to do is cancel class. But at the same time, we've got to keep everyone as safe as we possibly can. And so I appreciate those that were out driving roads this morning. It's not an easy thing. I appreciate them getting up early to do that. And sitting with me on arguing back and forth. We had a conference call going. We were all on parking lots and trying to figure out exactly the right call to make. And all we can do is what we go by, or the information that we have to make a decision. And we're going to try our best to err on the side of safety for our students and our staff. And so I thank you for understanding. We went ahead and called the delay last night after it was clear that we were going to be getting, they really thought we would get more ice than we did, and less snow than we did, to be honest with you. But, things work like they do, and we deal with them and move on. But again, I appreciate everyone's understanding, and hopefully we'll be back on regular schedule in the morning. And that concludes my update.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hardesty. Now we'll move on to section 3, board member comments. I'll just say, this is never an easy decision, and there's so many factors. Our county is vastly different from one end to the other. You have to consider all the buses that we are going to put out on the road, all the student drivers that are going to go on the road.
Right.
Faculty and staff drivers on the road. So it's always a tough decision, and we just appreciate the fact that we have people who are going out and about in dangerous conditions sometimes, and doing what we can to make the best informed decision. And I feel like we do that. Never going to make everybody happy, but that's just the way it is. I think we do a good job, and I appreciate all the work that goes into it.
Thank you, President Pauly. We did put on the call out last night that we would make a call by 7:30 this morning. We did meet that timeline. However, it takes a while to go through 1,700 phone calls, 1,700 plus, and then that's just staff, and so it does take a while. So if it was a few minutes after, we apologize, but it would have been very shortly after that at the latest. But thank you for your understanding.
Any other board member comments?
How many people are involved? How many people are out there driving the roads?
We have Mr. Boggs. Keith is saying 7. So Mr. Thomas, Mr. Stewart, Mr. Webb, Ms. Watts, Mr. Ryder, myself, and Mr. McMillan. Did I get them all, Mr. Thomas? And we all have designated areas within the county that we go, and then we try to collaborate and get input from everyone to see what's happening everywhere. We appreciate there are a few people that will send us text messages that live in certain areas that we may not go, like certain areas of parts of the ridges, because we can't completely cover all of those. But there are some people that will send us some text messages just to let us know what it's like where they live, so we can take that into consideration as well, and try our best to make a call that does the best for the multitude of the county. And honestly, on some days when it seems like we can't have school, even if it's a delay, there will be buses that can't run on some roads. We excuse those students from school if they don't make it, because we understand that at the same time, if we call school and a parent feels like it's not safe, you should not send your student. And so at the end of the day, that's exactly what we should do, call the school and let them know. But we also inform the parents of any bus that doesn't run prior to that, so they don't have a student standing out in the cold.
Thank you.
If no other board member comments, we'll move on to workshop requests, and we noted.
I apologize. We also have Mr. Gleason driving roads. Sorry, Mr. Gleason.
Yeah. We noted last night that we need to think about, and at next meeting, be ready to try to settle on a date for a January workshop.
Yes.
So just have that under consideration. Be checking out your calendars and seeing what is available for a workshop in January. The Monday before our second meeting is a holiday, so that is out. That's why we need to figure out a different date.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that Ms. Watts announced 2 of our LSIC meetings in January.
Yes.
So we'll have to be cognizant of that as well.
Yes, we have an LSIC on the 13th of January and on the 22nd of January. 13th at Huntington High School and the 22nd at Cabell Midland.
And we will also be having our art presentations on those days as well.
Did you ask about
Sorry.
delegations to be heard? Did you ask
Yeah.
that?
Nobody. Okay. Nothing else there. We'll move on to section 4, which is our consent agenda. And thinking about the information that's been provided by Mr. Boggs and Mr. Hardesty, we have several items to consider. And now will be a great time if you have any questions, concerns, or would like further information.
Well, I have kind of a question on 4.03 for FFA. I remember correctly, that's what that's for.
That's for,
And so my question is there no longer a Cabell County or an extension agency in any counties across the state now? I think they're done away with, aren't they?
No, that's actually what this is. It's to provide that service within our county. That's what this agreement is for us. We have been providing an office for them at the pre-K center in Milton for the last 4 or 5 years at least, maybe longer.
Cabell County Extension Agent
yes.
has an office in Milton.
It's the West Virginia University Cooperative Extension Service, but yes, that's what it is. It's an extension agency, and they have an office there. We're actually moving that because of the space that we need at Milton, but we've been working with the city of Milton to try to get them some space in the old Milton Elementary School. And so they're now working with Mayor Evans, trying to get that set up. Their stuff is still at Milton right now. They're in the process of moving over, and I think they're in the process of hiring another person and a secretary as well to work out of that office. But they work with our schools throughout the district.
So in years past, the office was on Howes Mill, if it's the same thing.
It is.
And I would go there when I had a gardening question.
Mm-hmm.
And my understanding was they didn't exist in a lot of places in the state now.
Oh, I'm not sure about around the state. I don't know.
So, so you're saying we're helping provide funding for that because of our student involvement?
Right,
Because they're
because-
helping our students with,
They work with our FFA program. They
FFA,
also
uh-huh.
work with, and we have that program at a couple middle schools and at the high school. And so they're working with that. They work with our youth also through the Cabell County Fair as well.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or clarification?
I would also like to add, I believe, and I don't want to speak for him, but I think President Pauly actually attends the meeting, their annual meeting that they have, and has been doing that now for a year or two, or if not longer. I don't know.
It's about that. Okay. If no other questions or concerns, then I'll just ask for us to look at 4.15, approval of consent agenda, and a motion. Mr. Abess has made the motion for approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
Ms. Smalley has seconded. Do we have any other further comments or questions or concern? The motion is for approval of the consent agenda. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. We have no financial update this meeting, and that takes us to personnel. And we had a couple of changes noted, one in professional and one in service. And I would ask us to consider 6.01 professional personnel and 6.02 service personnel for approval at this time. Okay, we have the motion for approval of 6.01 and 6.02, the professional and the service personnel.
Second.
Have a second? Okay, any other questions or concerns on the professional or service personnel sections? We have the motion. All in favor of approval signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. And that takes us to 6.03, which is administrative leave of professional personnel, and 6.04, administrative leave of a service personnel. I'll make a motion that we enter into executive session for a discussion on personnel matters.
Second.
We have a second by Ms. Neely. All in favor of going into executive session for personnel matter, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. We are in executive session.
motion
Need
to,
a motion to return to open session.
make a motion to return to open session.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Ms. Smalley, second by Ms. Childers. All in favor of returning to open session signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. We're back in open session, and we are at 6.03 and 6.04, and I believe Mr. Hardesty will have a recommendation for us. Sorry.
Thank you, President Polly. I recommend that the board ratify the administrative leave of John Castlegrand with pay that began October 15th, 2025, and continue until a resolution is reached.
Okay, you've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
We have a motion by Ms. Childers, second by Mr. Abess. All in favor of approval of the superintendent's recommendation, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. And
I recommend that the board ratify the administrative leave of Kevin Hughes with pay that began October the 11th, 2025, and continue until a resolution is reached.
okay, we have the recommendation. Do we have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Move-
Second.
Moved by Ms. Childers, second by Ms. Smalley. All in favor of the superintendent's recommendation, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. That takes us over to Section 7, special board items. We have two student expulsions, 7.01, 7.02 to consider. And if anybody has any questions or concerns, we can return to executive session. If not, we can have a motion for approval.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion for approval of special board items. We have a second by Ms. Smalley. Any further questions, comments? Okay, all in favor of approval of special board items or student expulsions, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. We were over to Section 8, update on current legal issues. We don't have any of those this evening either, so we'll move right on to adjournment. I just need a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Childers, second by Mr. Abess. All in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. We are adjourned at 5:48.